Hello, friends. Welcome back to another podcast. I haven't done one of these in a bit. I'm going to try to keep these more consistent week to week, hopefully. And this is another Universal area discussion. I want to do these more often because Universal is such a massive place. You could do a podcast once a week. There's so much. There's so much in it, but you could do like a lot of discussions, and that's what I'm going to try to do. Last time I believe we did Marvel Superhero Island, which is amazing. That went on for a while. I think the one before that we did Jurassic Park, that area. And now today we're going to do something that's pretty underrated. You might be able to tell because of these. We're going to talk about Men in Black Alien Attack, which is a dark ride, and it is a section of the park. It's not, I guess it could be considered an area because it is a ride. It has its own queue, like it has its own like place at the park, but it's not like Jurassic Park where it has a massive area or the Wizarding World where it's ginormous. It's pretty small compared to those, but it's still I'm a fan of it. It definitely helps if you're a fan of the films or even just in general. Like there's even the comic books, which are really cool. And we'll talk about those a little bit. I did take some notes, so just beforehand. So if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. And yeah, Men in Black Alien Attack. It is a really cool experience, in my opinion. It's pretty underrated, like compared to all the other rides, like the Mummy or Jimmy Fallon, or you've got the um, not the Rock and Roller. That's at Disney. It's the music coaster. I can never get the name right. It's the um, it's the music coaster. You know what I'm talking about. It'll come back to me. All the other rides like Dr. Seuss and stuff like that, and the Hulk and stuff. So it's definitely a small area of the park because I think when Back to the Future the ride was there, I believe that was it was like the 80s. I think it was like maybe 84, 83 when they built that. So Back to the Future was a thing, and they had the ride, and that area that it was kind of like a whole part of the park. I think it was called like the World's Pavilion or the World Expo, something like that. I think it was a pavilion. So Back to the Future, the ride, the facade, the actual outside was designed to be like a pavilion, like a fairground, not a fairground, but like you know what I mean, like the World's Fair. And next to that was the Men in Black. It was the part of the expo. That part's still there, but it's just not it's a little bit different because it doesn't have the rest of the theme that Back to the Future had. Sadly, they tore down the Back to the Future ride, so you definitely can't ride that anymore, which really sucks. I love the Back to the Future, all three. I'm one of the few that likes part three the best. Back to the Future Part 3. It's a western, it's a little bit different, it's got like a really cool vibe. I'm a huge fan of that one in particular. I'm kind of become a bigger fan over the years of it. Two is great. Two is dark, but it's really cool. It's got the future stuff, and then the first one is just iconic. It's amazing. But I'm a fan of the part three the best. There is some Back to the Future representation near Men in Black. I'll talk about that a little bit, or for a little bit. So they have the DeLorean. I think it might be from the film. It might be one of the screen used DeLoreans, where I think it's from the first movie. You'll notice it. It's near the Simpsons. I think it's near the Simpsons like entrance kind of area, and it's got the DeLorean time machine, which is amazing. And you can't get in it, but you can definitely take pictures around it. I've done that. I have a lot of pictures. At some point I'll share those with you. But you can take a picture with it, and it's awesome. I think Doc Brown's walking around at some point. So there is some Back to the Future, which is nice. And then there's the time travel train from part three, the end of it, Doc Brown's train, which is really cool. I think that's kind of behind the DeLorean. You can still see it's a massive train. It's really awesome. And I think that's also from part three, the movie. I think it might be from like it might be the movie version, like the one that they used. I can't say for sure. You might have to ask one of the employees. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a little bit of Back to the Future in there, so it's not like dead. And there's lots of merch that you can get. which is great. So just some little, trivia for you. So how to get to Men in Black? It's actually pretty easy. I actually don't have the map. Some of these I'll have the map, and some of them I won't. I tried to find it. I have like two copies of the Universal map that you can take home. I don't know. I don't know where those went. But we'll just move on without the map for today. So Men in Black is pretty easy to get to. It's kind of by it's by King's Cross Station. So if you know where that is, like the entrance to that, it's kind of across from there. And where you see the night bus, it's pretty close to that. Um, a bigger giveaway is they have these giant towers. There's a couple of them, and they're from the movie, the Men in Black film from 1997, which is honestly one of my favorite comedies. It's so good. It's really funny, especially the second one, in my opinion. But you can see the towers from pretty much everywhere you go to like the Universal Studios side, and you can pretty much see the towers. Like if you look across, the pond or the lake or whatever, you can see them pretty much wherever you look, which is great. And that's a dead giveaway. That's the World Expo Center, and that's where the facade is. And the bigger giveaway is if you go to the Simpsons area, it's really close. Like if you go past Springfield, that whole Simpsons section, it's right there. You'll see the MIB gear shop, which is a great place, and it has this really cool entrance. I think it's like kind of like an M. It's really cool. But yeah, the building that says gear shop, that's the gear. That's the end part of the ride. So that's where you come out of it. That's the merch shop. And so right next to that is the actual entrance, and you'll see it because it has this near the entrance. It has this giant like oval white looking logo with the Men in Black logo. It's so awesome. One thing that's a little weird though, because this ride, I think it takes place after Men in Black 1, but before 2. So Agent K isn't on the ride, but he's in the entrance logo, which I think is kind of interesting because he's part of the brand, but he's not in the ride. So I find it kind of interesting. It's something. But yeah, you'll notice the Men in Black logo is really cool. It's got this giant white oval logo. It's really cool, and all the cast members are dressed in the suits, and it's really really cool. Although it's not the smartest thing, I'm sure, for them to be in the Florida heat in those suits. Probably not the best idea. But the facade is interesting. It's got this like old-timey, old-fashioned aesthetic where you're at this world fair, and these guys, there's like all these posters everywhere telling you about like the universe and you, and like are we alone? And they're like it's almost, I read that, so the designers based these posters off of the Disneyland posters, which is really cool. Because I've been to Disneyland, and that's actually kind of a cool thing, a little reference. But all these posters are telling you kind of like about aliens and just some of the like sciencey stuff. I don't know a lot of that stuff, so I'm not going to pretend to know what was on those posters, but you can look them up. They're really cool. The queue line is a little bit boring, I will say, on the outside. But the design is really cool. It's got this like very old-fashioned aesthetic on the outside of it. It's kind of like this simple look for everything, which is cool. I don't know much about the World's Fair. I'm just gonna, say that. So I can't really say much about the design of the posters or anything, but it's really cool. It's just very simple, like just looking. That's just how it is. But it's a facade. It's a joke because obviously if you go, it's right in the entrance. This is not a World's Fair, right? And you go in the queue line, and this cast member is so good. I wish I could have recorded it, but we have usually the cast members are really good about like playing into the ride, like the joke of the queue, and they played this little snippet of the World's Fair, like the narration, which is really cool. And I believe I read that the narration is done by Roger Bumpus, who, if you don't know, plays Squidward Tentacles on SpongeBob. So that's pretty funny. I think that he did the narration, which is really cool that they got him to do that. And speaking of SpongeBob, I'll talk about this very quickly. There's actually I don't remember if there was a SpongeBob ride at Universal. I know that there's the SpongeBob Store Pants, which is the store. And if you want to know where that is, it's actually right by ET Adventure, I believe. I think so. Oh no, it's by the animal attraction, like the animal show. So if you know where that stage is, the SpongeBob store is right by there. You'll see it's like just giant, awesome place. We'll talk about that in its own video. But yeah, that's a great place. If you want to know where SpongeBob is, he's usually in that area. So yeah. But anyway, I just found that really cool that he was the narrator for this this pre-show like fake narration. um, and then it cuts off when you're in the line, and the cast member, he's obviously part of MIB, and Zed comes on, and what's really cool about this is that they got Rip Torn, who's Chief Zed, who obviously was in the first two Men in Black films. Sadly, actually no, he's still in the third one, even though he passed away, I think, before that movie came out, but maybe after one of those. But yeah, he's part of the ride. They got him back, and they did get Will Smith back. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But I do have some notes I want to go through before we actually talk about the whole thing. It's really cool. So Alien Attack is obviously an interactive dark ride, and it's pretty similar to a lot of the. Honestly, it's more similar to Disney rides than to Universal, because most of Universal's rides have the screens with the 3D glasses. This one's different. You don't really wear glasses per se. You just go into this. It's more animatronic based, and it was developed in 1997, so around the first movie, when that came out, and which is really cool. And then it opened on April 14th, 2000. So yeah, that's the long time ago. It's kind of impressive. It's one of the older park rides. I think ET is still the oldest one, and I think that is the only one that's from the park opening that's still there, which is really cool. ET is a little hard to. It's hard to kind of hard to get to. It's kind of tucked away, but it's a great ride, and it has a budget of 70 million, which is a lot, especially for a ride. It was more money in like 90s money, whereas now it's a little bit less, but it's still pretty impressive. It's the biggest dark ride, and it is 70,000 square feet, so it's a pretty big area. Like on the inside, it's huge. And at the time, I don't know if Disney has topped this, but it has 127 animatronics altogether. So it has one of the largest, like it is a massive area. It has so many animatronics, so many robots. It's ridiculous how many are in this ride. And most of them are aliens. And it received a Thea Award for outstanding achievement. So that's really nice. Really cool. Steven Spielberg served as a creative consultant, which is nice. And we'll talk about, I have one more trivia piece. We'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, it's a really cool ride. It's a little, I would say it's a tiny bit dated, just because it was made in the 90s. Some of the tech maybe it's not as newer as some of these other rides, which I don't mind. I think it's great. I like that it's still there. I myself am a huge fan of the Men in Black like movies. I'm also a big fan of the comics. I recently read those a couple years back, and I was surprised how dark the Men in Black original comic book is. I think there's only, I want to say there's maybe 4 or 5 issues. It's black and white. It's very, very dark. There's almost no humor. It's very depressing. Like just the tone. It's very adult. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of death. Um, Agent K is a lot more serious. Agent J, actually, I don't think Agent J is even in this. Maybe he's completely different if he is. It's not funny. It's very serious comic. It's worth reading. It's just very different from the films. Um, I recommend reading those for sure. It's just a different vibe as compared to the movies. Speaking of the movies, I'm a huge fan of them. If I were to rank them briefly, I would say Men in Black 2 actually is my favorite. For a lot of reasons, I like the villain more. I like the aesthetic. I like the comedy a lot more. To me, it's a lot funnier. It's a lot sillier than the first one. Frank the Pug kind of gets his own like role in this, and I think Will Smith is funnier in this one. I think the action is better in this one. I like the look. I think it was shot a little nicer. The music's great. You get more villains in this one. I'm a big fan of the second one. I know people hate it. Some of the CG is a little bit, dated because it was, I think, 2002, 2003, one of those. So it is a little bit dated in that respect, but it's just fun. It's super like enjoyable. It's super silly. Big fan of Men in Black 2. That's my favorite. Men in Black 1, I'm a tie between 1 and 3. I've seen 3 the least. I still need to buy it. But I think Men in Black 1 is great. There's nothing I don't like about it. It's really entertaining. It's very funny. And it's very well shot. I think the cast is great. Um, yeah, Men in Black 1 is amazing. Men in Black 3 is pretty underrated. Josh Brolin is amazing as the younger K. And I also really love the villain, not Edgar. He's on the first one. Boris the Animal. Jermaine Clement plays him. It's so good. He's so freaking great. And Men in Black 3 probably is the most interesting because it's time travel. Like Jay goes back in time where the Men in Black were first established. And it's really cool. All these villains are running all over the place, and Boris is murdering all these agents. It's really cool. I still need to watch it again. Because it's been a while. But yeah, Men in Black 3 is great. I think it came out in 2012. So kind of a big gap between 2 and 3. And obviously Men in Black International came out. I think that was 2019 with Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, Liam Neeson, I believe. And I think Emma Thompson. Yeah. So that one's good too. It's definitely not it's not nearly as good. I will say it's definitely not as good as the originals, but it's still good. I still like it. It's just not you get to separate them. But yeah, my ranking 2, 1, 3 international. That's how I'd rank them. Honestly, I could probably switch 3 and international. They're pretty. They're all great. Anyway, yeah, they're all based on the. This ride is based on the first movie only, so there's no references to anyone else, not even K. So it makes sense because it was developed when the first Men in Black came out. Because um, I don't think there's going to be a sequel at that point. But whatever, I'm fine with that. I think it's great. So the opening, actually, I saw some of the opening, the grand opening, like just some of the footage of that, and man, I wish I could have been there. There was like explosions, tons of agents. Um, I think there was like even smoke effects in the car that J and K use. I forgot the name. It's a Ford. I know that. It's a Ford. I probably should have looked that up. It's the car that they use in the first one. It's so good. I think I read that the car used to be part of the Q entrance, but they took it out for some reason. I don't know why, because that car is amazing. It's like this old school kind of car. It's embarrassing. I don't remember the name of it. I'll I'll write that down at some point and share that. You can just look it up. But yeah, the Q entrance, it's all right. It's got like the arch from St. Louis, and it's also got the World's Fair Tower things, which are actually UFOs from the film. And I think it has one other thing. It's been a while since I looked at the facade, but it's got some good stuff. It's definitely more boring of an outside compared to a lot of the other like entrances. Like I think even Revenge of the Mummy is a better entrance than this, but that's fine. It's just the outside is not that exciting. But what is exciting is the inside. So you go in there and a cast member comes out And of course, I talked about this earlier. Zed, Rip Torn, he's the head of the MIB and 1 and 2. He's still in 3, but I think he's not Zed. I think Emma Thompson takes over in 3 and International. But yeah, he's a big part of those first 2 movies, and it was great to hear him. And you get to see him later when you go into the headquarters. We'll get to that. This is my favorite queue from Universal. I mean, there is so many great queues. I think for a couple reasons. I'm a big fan of the headquarter design in the movies, and just to be able to step into that, to be in that headquarters for me was so cool. It was just really epic to me. Like, I know it's not that exciting if you look at it. Like, it's kind of everything's white, and you got these like dots and stuff, and all these silver like signs all over the place, and all these. It's not a flashy queue, but it's straight from the movie, which the all 3 of them, even the 4th one to an extent. I'm just a big fan of the design of the production of the movies, and to be able to be in that headquarters was so awesome. 'Cause I've been a fan of these movies for a long time, especially the first 2. So it was a really cool experience to be able to be in the headquarters. And the second reason, I think there's a lot of Easter eggs, like the worm guys. You'll pat right, kind of by the elevator. You go into an elevator, which is kind of disguised as like a wall, and the cast member will direct you into the elevator, and that's kind of the entrance into the queue. And you go in there, and of course Zed's telling you to hurry up and get to your training, and he's on the intercom, and it's really cool to hear Rip Torn, his voice. It's really cool because he's the chief at the time, and he tells us to, get to our stations, get to blasting aliens. And we come out of the elevator, and the elevator, by the way, I want to talk about this for a minute. This is a really cool elevator. It's very cleverly disguised into the queue, like it's on the wall. Like, you don't even know it's an elevator until it opens. It splits apart. It's got these like squares for the wall facade, and it opens up, and it feels like you're going in an elevator because it's like going down. And I think it's like a motion ride type thing. And it's like this very silver chromy elevator on the inside, and it can fit a lot of people, and it's really cool just to be in there. Um, it's kind of similar to we haven't talked about the Wizarding World yet, but it's similar to the Escape from Gringotts, where it has the elevator on the bottom of Gringotts Bank. You're going underground. Um, I don't think it's a real elevator, but it feels like it. It feels like it's moving. So it's similar thing here. And it opens up, and you go into the hallway. The cast members directing you, and you hear all these like the woman speaking over the phone, over the intercom. And the one I watched, she called out Agent J, which is cool, and she called out a couple things like Agents A, E, I, and there's some good humor. You got to pay attention to some of the things that she's saying. It's actually kind of funny, just some of the lines. And yeah, you're going around the corner of the elevator. You come out of it, and you come around the corner in this big room. It's the break room where the worm guys are. Got a couple animatronics of the worm guys. Really cool to see them. They're talking and hanging out, drinking coffee. Honestly, it would be cool to just go in that room. I don't think you're allowed to, but it'd just be really cool to go in there because it's really iconic. Another iconic thing is on like right across from that. There's a bulletin, or not a bulletin. It's like a sign. It shows all the different MIB rooms that you can go to, like Roswell Incident Room. There's like weapons control. There's the immigration room. There's the oxygen free zone, which is really funny. There's a lot of great little comedy bits in the queue line, which is great. Unfortunately, the last time I went in there, we kind of just went fast. So I tried to get some pictures of that. I did get a few. There's a bulletin board actually next to. I think it's a little bit away from the break room, and there's a bulletin of all these different things happening. And I don't remember what's on that, but there's a lot of cool little Easter eggs and stuff, little references and things you can just just look at that. It's really cool stuff. And you go across the obviously around the corner. There's another hallway, and I believe that's immigration control. So you go down the hall around the corner, and there's this massive room. We'll talk about the ride in a little bit. I just want to get to the through the queue because I love the queue. Since it's my favorite, I'll spend the most time on it. There's the massive immigration control. This is a big area from the films where a lot of the alien activity is happening. So a lot, kind of like a lot of the plot points. Um, so it's ripped right out of the movie. Like it literally looks like you stepped onto the set of the first or the second movie even, and it's this giant screen of MIB activity. You have um, Rip Torn, Agent Zed, and he's actually there. He's playing Zed, and he's directing us. He's just greeting us and stuff. There's a few different Q videos. I think I might link one of those below, the one I watched, because you can see the whole Q, all the videos put together, and it's this giant monitor. It's similar to the Men in Black entrance, like outside of the ride, like the logo. It's like the big oval, the big white oval screen. It's similar to the logo, except it's a screen, so you can see different characters. And you'll see Zed, which is great to see him, and then you'll see Agent J, Will Smith's character. You'll see him a lot as well, so it's great. He's making some jokes about the suit and the neuralizer, and about the training and stuff. And there's also some cool things that they do on the screen where they show you some of the aliens. So they have like these artists come in, I assume, and draw some of these weird looking aliens, like super creepy looking evil alien villains. Like a lot of these are drawn on the screen and you can see them. And you have to pay attention really quickly because they'll have these little information, little blurbs about the aliens, like some information about them, some backstory. You got to keep really fast track of it because it'll kind of zoom by fast, and they'll put like a wanted sticker on top of them, which is really cool. So I love the screen. I think it's amazing, and the sound is great, and I like the fact that Smith and Torn are there, and it feels connected to the movies because they obviously were in the movies. So I think it's really awesome that Universal got the actors back, at least two of them, to come back. I think it was really cool to see them again. And I think this was maybe these videos were maybe filmed 1998, 1997, whenever the first movie was kind of out, or maybe close to coming out. So they're fairly young at this point. So it's nice to see them as part of the ride. And the cool thing about the immigration room is it's this giant kind of, you're kind of walking on like a balcony, and you can look down in the middle where the screen is, and you'll see the twins, the alien twins, which are always on the case. They're always working on the computers and stuff for the MIB, the headquarters. They're keeping track of all the aliens, all the villains and stuff. And it's really cool. They're animatronics. They're massive, giant animatronics that move around. It's so cool that they put them in the ride because they're great characters, and it's just really cool to see them. And right around them, they have the giant kind of area, the immigration area that you saw in the first film, where Smith he first gets like updated and on what the MIB is. The beginning of the movie where he gets inducted. He joins the team. So you get to see a lot of the corridor, the floor that you saw in the movie. My one complaint about this part of the queue is it's very empty. You have a lot of these tables, chairs, like the weird looking chairs in the corner where it's like the white, weird looking sofa couches in the corner. You have like these cards on the table, lots of screen monitors, lots of paperwork, bulletin boards, clipboards, all sorts of stuff. Really cool. I think I read that they were going to, the creative director Dave Cobb, he was going to have a bunch of animatronics down below in this room acting as like a super like busy area. But unfortunately, I think because of the budget, they had to scrap that. So immigration control is very iconic to the Men in Black like franchise. And it's an iconic part of this queue. Unfortunately, I think it's a little bit weak because there's not a lot going on down there. You got the twins, you got the big screen up above, but other than that, it's just kind of empty. Like I get it. I think actually when the ride first opened, they had some of the cast members down there in the area. You can see them kind of back when the ride first opened. You could see them, running around and getting paper and talking and sipping coffee and joking and stuff, talking about stuff. All the cast members would have been down there. Obviously, they don't do that anymore because all the cast members have to be up above for the ride vehicles and stuff. So I think it's the big weakness of the queue is kind of empty. It's kind of simple. Like there's not a lot going on, but it looks amazing. Like seriously, it looks so good, especially for being 25 years old or however old this ride is. I hate doing math, so I'm not going to do it. But this ride came out in 1998, seven. So yeah, this is a pretty old ride for Universal. I think ET is the only one that's older. But yeah, the immigration's awesome, and I think you can ask a cast member or like one of the employees. You can ask them to take a tour of the headquarters if you want to. You can get a kind of a sneak peek behind the scenes. You can go to some of the rooms and stuff, and you can actually go down in there where the twins are. If you ask a tour, or if you ask one of them, one of the men in black, you can ask them. I didn't do that because there was a lot of people at our queue. But I think when it's less busy, you can definitely ask to go down there, which I would love to do. Next time I'm there, I'm definitely doing that because I think it'd be amazing to be in that room. You know. So yeah, that's the first big part of the queue is the immigration control. It's the big main area, and then past that, you'll get to the weapons room, which honestly I think is really really epic because you have all the different like MIB guns and like laser blasters and like shades, and you've got the neuralizers and the different tech that they use. I know a couple of them, like the names. I know that you can see Jay's Noisy Cricket, the small little gun that he uses. And there's also these giant blasters. Pretty much every MIB weapon you could want is in there. Every single weapon. It's so cool. They're like behind glass cases. You can walk by them, take pictures. It's so awesome. I've got pictures of that. I'll share them at some point. But yeah, it's so cool just to see all the tech and stuff, all the different equipment that they use. I'm sure, I think most of all of these props are from the film set. I think all of them are taken from the movie set, like the production. So if you want to see all this stuff up close, there you go, which is what I kind of wanted to do. So yeah, you can see all the weapons, all the cool tech that they have. And once you go past there, it's kind of like a kind of a straight line, queue line. Once you go past there, then you get to the main area where it's like the loading dock where you get to see all the different vehicles and stuff. It's really epic. I also love some of the different like training videos. One of which I think there's two different types of queue training videos. Or one of them isn't really a training video. It's more like just it's like an old fashioned like 50s, 60s like footage, and it shows some aliens that are in disguise, and they're kind of telling you to watch out in public for different aliens. It's kind of a fun little film, like short film. And that video, I think, plays in the immigration control. So if you want to look at that, just wait for that. It'll show up at one point or another. And the other one is in the weapons room. So on a little monitor up above, they're telling you about the aliens, and this animated movie comes up, and it's Dudley, not Dudley Do Right. That's a different part of the park. It's Doofus and Do Right. I think that's what it is. It's like animated MIB characters. It's really weird, but it's funny. It works. So it's like this wacky animated thing where this character, I think Doofus, shows up. It's really silly. And I don't know much about it. I just know that he like is getting into hijinks, and he's kind of telling us how the guns work, which is kind of cool. And yeah, that's all I know about that. It's just really funny. Like it's really silly. It's like this animated thing. It's kind of cool. I like it. And on the other side of the weapons room, you've got kind of like some other, I think it's other employees that have done the ride like before. Um, and it's kind of just like showing you some of the rides, this system, and like just some of the people that have rode it. And I think they're like employees of the month or something. It's really funny. And then you go into the main area, this loading dock. It's kind of a loud area, but it's really cool. You got the MIB logo like on the wall, and it's so awesome. You got all these cast members walking around, and the ride vehicle is really cool because they'll show you before you go on there. They'll show you a little like schematic of what it looks like, how it works. Got the guns on there, and I think it holds 6 people at once. That's what I saw, and it's a really cool little ride. And you go down the stairs and you go to the line. It's kind of a standard queue thing, and the members will direct you. Actually, I don't know if cast members is a Disney thing. I don't know if that's specifically Disney, like a term. We'll just call them employees. So yeah, the employees are in the suits and they're directing us. And you get on the ride, and Zed's like, prepare to, it's kind of cool because he's telling us to start our training, kind of like a simulation type thing. But then his training is cut short quickly because we're trying to use the guns. He's giving us a tutorial how to use them, and we turn the corner, and it turns out this giant alien ship has come to Earth, and it's like crash landed on in New York. And Zed's like, well, training averted. We got an actual situation here. Aliens have run amok. Blast everything you see. And you have to aim your gun and start shooting stuff. Um I don't think I was very good at it, to be honest. I don't remember my score. Maybe I took a picture. I'll have to check. But um depending on your like skills, you'll get either bug bait, which is the worst. You'll get cosmically average, which is decent, and then you'll get Galaxy Defender, which obviously is a reference to the song, the Men in Black song by Will Smith, which is amazing, and it's actually playing on the speakers too, which is cool. Um, and yeah, that's great. Those are the 3 different versions you can get, like the different skill levels. I was definitely bug bait, I think. Yeah, I wasn't very good. um, I think I'll try to be better next time. But you go on the ride. It's a dark ride, so it's pretty dark, and it's really epic. It's got this really cool feel, um, and the effects are amazing, especially for 1997 or eight. It's really amazing. Just it's a real ride. It's one of the few rides that you're not like it's not 3D. It's real like props. It's like actually real animatronics and stuff and real effects. Obviously the guns have electronics built into them because they're laser guns. It's almost like laser tag, but you're on a ride. So it's really cool. Um, and it's a really nice like layout. You start kind of like this simple, area. It's almost I think it's almost taken from the movie where the Men in Black train. So they have like the cardboard cutouts of like little little Susie, and you've got all the different aliens that were in the movie, like that scene where they're training. I think that's almost all the props from that scene, which is really cool little reference. And then you get into the real battle where all the animatronics are, and you get this giant battleship that's crashed on the ground, and all these aliens are everywhere. A couple aliens I want to mention. You've got, I think one of the aliens, I believe, is Steven Spielberg. I know he's got like a Spielberg head prop, and he's reading a newspaper. I believe the newspaper is like, I think it's a Jaws reference. It's either a Jaws reference or E.T. It's one of them. I think it's Jaws. Which Jaws, we'll get to another area. That's a great section. Not very big, but it's another great part of the park. But there's a Spielberg alien. If you zap that one, you get some points. And then there's a Frank the Pug. I forget where he's at. I think he's at the newsstand. So you can get Frank the Pug, and if you shoot him, you'll get bonus points if you shoot his collar. So that's pretty cool. And he gets a bigger role in Men in Black 2, the movie. So he's very funny in that one. And speaking of Frank the Pug, I did get a little plush of him because I'm a big fan of that guy. He's so freaking funny, especially in the second one where he starts singing and it's so good. Like Frank is so great. I definitely would recommend this plush. It's very cute. It's very nice. It's very great. He's got his little suit on. It's so good. I'm a big fan of this plush and the character too. So yeah, Frank is great. And I think the highlight of this whole ride is actually near the end where you're told to press the red button, which you don't do, obviously. But Zed's like, do it, do it. You can't escape otherwise. You can blow the alien up. And we blow the alien up from the inside. But the massive bug, kind of a spoiler, I guess, for the ride if you haven't been on it. But near the end of the ride, you have this ginormous, massive bug thing. I don't even know how big it is. It's freaking massive. And it almost eats us alive. It's kind of cool because you're going through the bug. It's almost like a tunnel. And you press the red button and your vehicle will spin around. It's really cool. And that's like kind of like the finale. Jay's kind of warning us about the bug throughout. And I like the screens too. Will Smith is on the screens, kind of warning us about these different aliens through the ride. And at the end of the ride, he'll give you a score based on your points. So if you get Galaxy Defender, you'll join the MIB. You'll get a cool little animatronic reveal, and you'll get a cool little speech from Jay. I like the different jokes that he does, depending on what you get, which is really cool. He was all in on this ride. You could tell he was having a ball, recording these lines, just having a good time. And yeah, he's having a good time. I am too. So that's fun. We're both having some fun, and it's great that he's there. It kind of connects it to the movies again, which is great. And he's throughout the ride. You got Zed on the intercom, and at one point, the the other riders. So you have kind of two teams of guests. So you have our vehicle, which has six, and the vehicle is really cool. It's got this really interesting feel. It's like very sci-fi, very Men in Black, and it's got this really nice feel to it. The seats are comfortable, I think, and it just looks. The vehicle is really cool looking. You got the guns as well, which I think you can, for the guns, I think you can either click individually on the trigger or you can just hold it and start shooting because it's like a laser tech kind of system. So you can point it, and all the aliens have these like electro monitors built into them where I think they turn red when they're hit, red or orange. I don't remember. It's one of those, but they have green lights, and if you zap them, they turn red or orange, which is really cool. Maybe a different color. It's been a while. But yeah, that's the whole point. You're supposed to shoot all the aliens in as many as you can. And again, there's over 127. So if you have gotten all 127 aliens, that is amazing. There's probably someone that has. But yeah, that is kind of the main gist. You're supposed to hit all the aliens, supposed to get them all, or get most of them, and you'll get a high score. It's kind of like a video game. You're like riding a video game, basically, which is great. And the ride vehicle is really cool because on certain points of the ride, it'll kind of like spin around, suddenly, depending on some attacks that you get. And it's just really fun to ride. Even if you don't shoot anything, it's just really fun to look around and stuff. There's tons of references. Really cool. I do think the ride could have been a little bit slower. I think just because it moves a little too fast, I feel like at some points, because you can't appreciate everything. You kind of have to go multiple times to get some of the references and some of the Easter eggs and stuff that they have, because it's a big layout, but you're shooting so much and you're fighting all these aliens and you're concentrating on that and you're whipping around, and it's hard to look at everything if you're a big fan of the movies and stuff and you want to see everything. That's kind of a nitpick, I will say. It's a little bit hard to stop and appreciate all the different props and stuff because you have to keep going. So that's probably my one complaint so far. But it's a really cool. I like the music as well. It's really epic battle music, and you got some of the Danny Elfman theme song blasting as well. So that's really cool. I like Zed as well, kind of jumping back and forth. And at one point, I think, which is really cool, part of the ride, you have the other team. So at this point, when you first get into training, you have two sets of riders. So you have 6 and 6, 12 riders, two separate vehicles, and you're going on different paths. And at one point, you kind of face the other team, and Zed's like, you know what? Aliens are on that ride. Shoot them. Shoot the monitor. And you have to shoot the back of their vehicle because they're aliens. They're villains, and you have to shoot them. And you, depending on how fast you are, either their car will spin or our vehicle will spin. Both cars will spin depending on what happens. It's just a really cool little action scene. And I think it's a great ride. I think it looks amazing, sounds great. It definitely helps if you're a fan of the movies. Like if you're a fan of Men in Black, you'll love this ride. I'm a huge fan of Men in Black. I'm even a big fan of the Men in Black animated show. I think it was, I want to say it was like 2001 or something. It was pretty, I think it was after Men in Black 2, maybe. I could be wrong. I should have done research. But there's an animated show that I think has a couple of the cast members from the movies. And it's pretty similar to a lot of the shows from the 90s, just in terms of animation. But it's really underrated. I think you could watch season 1 on YouTube for sure for free. I don't know about the other season. I think it has 2 seasons. So if you're able to find that, definitely give it at least a try. It's actually really funny. It's a really cool show. I'm a big fan of it so far. I don't think there's a big DVD release though, so if you want to watch all of it, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. But yeah, Men in Black the show, it's really underrated. It's definitely give it a try. It's really cool. It definitely has some plot points from the movies. There's definitely some stuff from the first movie and even the second one, so that's cool. So definitely watch that. It's really cool. But yeah, I'm a big fan of that show. I just like Men in Black. I just like the concept, like aliens, just the whole agency feel. I've always been a big fan. I like the comedy side of it, but I just like the lore. There's a lot of like, um, just backstory and stuff for the MIB. It's just so interesting, and some of it is kind of real world history too. So I'm a, I like Men in Black. Okay, what can I say? I'm a big fan. Um, And yeah, some of the stuff for the ride, I think I talked about a lot of it. If you want to see a lot of it, just go online. I'm not going to go through every single thing, but there's just a lot of cool stuff going on. A lot of, I think almost everything in this ride is physically prop. Like it's all there, like real. You can pretty much touch it. And they're all physical props, and they're all built. I think 70 of these animatronics were built by Universal. The other half were built by a different company, but they're all built from scratch. All the aliens, all the different signs and buildings, and um, all the different weapons and things, the ships, the big bug at the end, even the monitor. Everything was built from scratch. Like it feels handmade, which is, I don't know. It's almost like this time capsule of a ride. It's very 90s, but it holds up because it's all real. Like it's all there, which I like. Not every ride at Universal is screen based, which is great. I think The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man is the closest I could give to a comparison. That's in Islands of Adventure, so it's a different part of the park, but it's pretty similar. Um, I think Spider-Man is a little bit of a better ride just because it has more effects built into it. Whereas Men in Black is very much a ride. Like it's not an effects heavy. Like, you're not. How do I say this? It's not as immersive. I guess is how I could describe it. It's different. They're both very different, but Spider-Man is one of the great rides too. It's amazing. We'll get to that in its own. Actually, I think I've already covered that ride. In the Marvel Superhero Island. So, yeah, they're both awesome. I definitely prefer the queue for Men in Black for sure, but it's just it depends on how big of a fan you are of the movies or whatever. And there's a lot of comedy too. a lot of the props and a lot of the different things that you hear over the intercom. So that's great. A lot of comedy. Um, and I'm a big fan of this ride. I think it's amazing. I do think it's a tiny bit dated because of the some of the gun effects and some of the feedback isn't the greatest on the ride, I will say. Um, but it is an older ride, so it's fine. It doesn't really. It's just what it is. It was built earlier, so whatever. I could say it's really. I don't really have any other complaints. I think it's a very well done thing. I do want to actually mention I did get a pin. This wasn't from the gear shop. I got Frank from the gear shop, but this was from I forget what store. It's one of the City Walk stores, and it's based on the Noisy Cricket from the movie. It's based on Jay's gun. It's got the logo and stuff. I kept it on the packaging because I just think it looks nice. It's $8. I think Frank was like six. I think he might have been $20. I think he was 20 because it's a plush. Plushes are always more expensive. And I actually want to show one more thing that I did get from the gear shop. All around Universal, they have these coins, press pennies, sorry. And I'm trying to find the Men in Black. Hold on. I got all three of them. I think I just got two of them. Yeah, it looks like I just got two of them. Hopefully you can see this. They're right. This is the first one. Sorry, they're hard to see. There's that one with the aliens, the worm guys. And then there's this one here with another worm guy. Hopefully you can see that. It's maybe a little hard to see. But yeah, I think there's one other coin. Maybe. I think there's just two of them that you can get. But that's cool. I was pretty disappointed they didn't have the Men in Black shades, the actual glasses. I was pretty disappointed. I'm like, hey, do you have these? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. See, they didn't have those. I think next time if I go, I might get like a hoodie or a shirt. But there's a lot of cool merch, a lot of cool stuff. There's actually some Marvel stuff even in the gear shop, which I find a little bit weird because Marvel is all the way at the other part of the park. Like it's not in this area. Like what does Men in Black have to do with Marvel? Like Men in Black is based on a comic book, okay? But that's not Marvel. They didn't do that. So, okay. It's cool. I just don't know why Marvel stuff is in there. Whatever. There's a bunch of pop culture stuff in the shop as well. The shop, I want to talk about that a little bit. The shop is really cool. It's pretty similar to the ride, or the queue. It's just got the same aesthetic, like the white walls and stuff. It fits the Men in Black. That's their whole like vibe, is the vintage aesthetic. So you got that going for it. You've got the songs blasting, Men in Black, the song, which is great. You got some video games off to the side when you come out of the ride. A lot of the merch is really cool. You got some shirts with some aliens. You got some blasters and the neuralizers and stuff. Some plushes, really cool stuff. Some drink cups, and you got the this here, which I actually did buy there. Actually no, I think I bought this in the one of the Marvel shops. But they have the coin albums you can get. They're really cool little things. And I think it's great. I love the aesthetic of the shop. I think it's really cool. Honestly, one of my favorite shops just to be in. I went there at least 2 or 3 times just because it's just a really cool vibe in there. And yeah, I think it's an amazing thing. And then you come out, obviously. One other thing I want to mention, actually, near Men in Black, you've got this like Coke. It's like this Coke station where you can fill up your like cup or water or whatever. You get soda and stuff, and it's awesome. It's such a cool sci-fi looking thing. You got this like alien in the middle of it. It's like this big glass dome like building. It's so cool. And you go in there, it's really retro. It's like very 50s, 60s. It's so cool. I wish I got footage of it. There's probably someone that has. But I just think it's kind of a cool area just to be in. Just, just the whole vibe and the whole feel of it. Even the bathrooms are cool. If you've ever been in the Men in Black area, go in the bathrooms. It's so nice in there. Like, it's one of the nicest bathrooms I think I've ever been in. It's so cool. You've got these like checkered walls. Even the toilets are like fancy. It's so cool. I'm a huge fan of this part of the park. Definitely my favorite queue. Men in Black is Alien Attack. Definitely my favorite queue. Is it my favorite ride though? I don't think so. I think it's in the top 10. I don't think it's top 5. Not because it's bad. I just think some of the other rides are better. I think the Mummy, I think I prefer as a ride more. But just the aesthetic of Men in Black is so good. Even if you're not a fan of the movies or whatever, it's just a cool place to be in my opinion. Like, you don't even have to be a fan, but I just think it helps if you are, for sure. Definitely helps. So I think it's amazing. Definitely give it a shot. It's pretty underrated, like compared to every other ride. No one really talks about Men in Black. I think mainly because it's just tucked in the corner, by Springfield. It's not really talked about, which I think sucks. People need to talk about this more. It's very overlooked. I think it's very overhated. Um, I think it's pretty underrated, and I think people need to check it out. Maybe they could refurbish the ride. I think some of the gun feedback could be fixed. I think some of the effects for that could be a little bit improved, for sure, because it is an older ride. But the fact that it's still running is amazing. So Men in Black Alien Attack, I would give it like probably like probably a 10 because I'm such a big fan of the queue and the ride itself is great. And it's a pretty long ride. I think it's more like maybe like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, depending. Maybe it's like 5 minutes. I don't know. It's kind of a longer ride, so that's nice. And I think I talked about everything. I love the fact that they got the actors, which is just amazing. That's one thing that Universal has over Disney. They always Universal has deep pockets, and they always get pretty much every actor from the films. So if you're on The Mummy, you get Brendan Fraser from the film. If you're on Transformers, you've got Morshower from the movie. I forgot the actor, but you know what I'm talking about. And it's just really, you got Jimmy Fallon on his own ride, which is just, it's so good. And you've got E.T., you've got Spielberg there as the director, you've got E.T.'s voice actor. I mean, that's one thing that they do so much better. They get the actual voice actors, the actual actors, the actual people that directed these things, and it just makes it so much better, in my opinion. That being said, I haven't been to a Disney World park. I've been to Disney World, so Disneyland. I've been to Disneyland, which is a great, great place, but it's just a little bit of a different thing. Obviously, Wizarding World has all the actors, so that's one benefit of going to Universal. They've got pretty much everyone on some of the old rides. They have, I know, Back to the Future. They had Christopher Lloyd. They had Michael J. Fox. They've had Thomas Wilson, and then they've had, for Twister, they had Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. So they have a lot of these people come back, which is just so nice. It makes you feel part of it. It's just really, really nice. And yeah, Men in Black, no exception. Do I think there's some weaknesses of this? I think maybe the outside could be. I feel like they could have done something a little bit nicer. I would have liked the Ford to be part of that, like put back. Probably they won't do that, but it would be nice to have at least a part of the movie. Just the car. I would have loved to see that. Take a picture with that, but whatever. It's fine. I think it's a great part of the park. I do think maybe some of it could be updated. Like, not much. I think some of the Universe and You stuff maybe could be a little bit updated. It's not a good queue on the outside. That's my big complaint. The inside is great, but the outside is kind of boring. So I could see why most people don't talk about it in that regard. But I just think it's a great area. Definitely my favorite queue. The favorite area, it's a little simple. I do think Superhero Island so far has been my favorite, but it just depends on what you feel about the movies. Again, if you hate the movies, you probably don't want to go on this. I just think it's cool that they picked Men in Black of all things. I don't think people don't talk about Men in Black anymore. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is. It's just kind of an underrated like franchise, I feel like. And even I feel they could probably add more elements from the other movies, especially 3 and maybe 2. But I think it's fine how it is, the original. There's actually some interviews online where some YouTubers interview Dave Cobb, who's the director. He's the whole guy behind the ride. So if you want to know more, definitely check out some of the YouTubers. I think I'll link a few down below, just so you can see some of the creative stuff and him talking about some of the decisions made. And I think it's a brilliant ride. I think it's great. It's very overlooked, and you should give it a shot for sure. I think it's something you should try at least once, even if you're not a fan of dark rides. I think it's held up pretty well despite its age. I don't know how long they're going to keep it at the park. That's the that's the question, because it's such an old ride, especially for Universal. It's like 25, 26 years old. So it is an older ride. I think ET they'll probably keep around maybe forever. Maybe. I don't know. Because they took out Back to the Future. Why? Why did they take that out? Back to the Future is one of the best movies that they have there. Like, it's one of the best movies from the 80s ever. All of them. I just don't know why they decided to take it out. Like, from what I saw, it was one of the more popular rides. Like, why? Even the Jaws ride, why take that out? That's one of the coolest things. Anyway, I think the next area talk or discussion, maybe the Wizarding World. I don't know. It might be Dr. Seuss Land. We might talk about that next, or even Jaws, Amity Island. I don't know. I might talk about some of the Back to the Future stuff. I don't know. We'll see the next one. I think I'll do a poll and we'll do it that way. I'll kind of see which area you want to see talked about next. I'll try to find my map in between then. I don't know where it went. I should probably keep it near here, like keep it on the table so I can actually remember where it is. But yeah, Men in Black, Alien Attack. I think it's awesome. I think all the aliens are super cool. Love that the actors are back. The aesthetic is so good. It's just very overlooked. It's like no one talks about it because there's just so much out. There's just so much around it. Um, just how it is, I guess. I think it's great. Check it out. I'll link some videos down below. So if you want to see some more parts of the park, or even, I know there's some lights on areas at the park. So if you want to see what it looks like lights on, you could look at that too. It's very interesting. And thanks for listening or watching this. You don't really need to watch it. It's more of a podcast, so you can listen to it. You need to listen to it. That way you're not looking at me. But if some of these I think will have face on. I don't know. We'll see. And that's about it. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Let me know what do you think of Men in Black Alien Attack? Do you think it's a good ride? Do you think it's trash? What do you think of the World Expo? Do you think they should have, you know, do you think they should have gotten rid of Back to the Future, the ride, or do you think they should have, kept it, or do you think they should tear down Men in Black? Let me know. And what do you think of dark rides? Which one do you prefer? And what's your favorite part of Universal Studios? You can pick Islands of Adventure as well, kind of mix and match. And let me know what you think of these podcasts. I love talking about these parts of the park. I think it's really fun to discuss. And give me your thoughts below. Even if you hate the park, give me your reasons why. If you love it, we can have a chat below. And that's it for Alien Attack. Join me for the next one, which I'll do a poll on. We can vote. We'll do it that way. Thank you once again. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Take care.